G'day folks, Dr. Ethan Walker here. Now, did you know that over 400 million people worldwide are dealing with urinary incontinence? Yeah, you heard that right. And here's the thing, about 15% of blokes and 30% of women over 60 are struggling with this every single day. But it's not just about the physical discomfort, mate. It goes way deeper than that. Think about it for a second. How many times have you had to suddenly drop what you're doing? Whether you're reading, watching the footy, or having a yarn with your mates, just to rush off to the dunny. Or worse, how many times have you avoided going on a road trip or spending time with your loved ones because you're worried about having an accident? This situation isn't just uncomfortable, it actually strips away your personal freedom. And after 35 years working as a urologist here in Australia, I've seen how this affects people's lives every single day. But here's what I want you to imagine. Picture yourself, regardless of your age or how long you've been dealing with incontinence, being able to tackle this problem with a remedy so simple that it literally fits in a glass. And the best news? This solution actually exists. I've been using this method with my patients for years, and it's helped thousands of people right across Australia and beyond get their lives back on track. No invasive surgery required, and it costs a fraction of what you'd pay for ongoing medications. Now, before we dive into the details, I'm going to share something with you that one of my patients told me just last week. She's 76 years old, and she said, "Doc, I've been having a tablespoon of this every morning on an empty stomach for years now. I can walk for hours, go shopping, do whatever I need to do without that constant urge." That's the kind of result we're talking about here, folks. All right, let me get straight to the point, because I know you're not here for a long-winded lecture. Here's the remedy that's been changing lives. You'll need 2 tablespoons of pumpkin seeds, 1 glass of lukewarm water, about 200 to 250 mils, and half a teaspoon of honey if you want to sweeten it up a bit. Now, here's how you make it. Chuck those pumpkin seeds into your blender. Pour in the warm water. Blend it for about 2 minutes until you get a smooth mixture. If you prefer a sweeter taste, add that honey. You can strain the drink if you want to avoid any seed bits, but honestly, the fiber's good for you, so I usually tell my patients to keep it in. Now, when do you drink this? First thing in the morning on an empty stomach. That's crucial, mate. Your body absorbs the nutrients way better when you haven't eaten anything yet. For the first 2 weeks, you want to have this every single day. After that fortnight, you can drop it down to 3 times a week to maintain the benefits. I know what some of you might be thinking. "Doc, can't I just eat the pumpkin seeds straight up and get the same effect?" Fair question, and I've heard it heaps of times. The answer is no, not really. When you blend them with warm water, you're breaking down the cell walls and making all those beneficial compounds way more bioavailable. Your body can actually absorb and use them properly. Just munching on them whole means a lot of those nutrients pass right through without being absorbed. Now, let me tell you why this actually works, because I'm not about to give you some dodgy advice without backing it up. Pumpkin seeds are absolutely packed with zinc, magnesium, and antioxidants. These are essential nutrients for strengthening your pelvic floor muscles and improving bladder function. Research has shown that regular consumption can significantly reduce the frequency of urination and lessen the intensity of incontinence symptoms. Here's what's happening in your body when you have this drink. The zinc helps maintain the structural integrity of your bladder tissue. It's like giving your bladder walls the building blocks they need to stay strong and elastic. The magnesium works on your muscle function, helping those pelvic floor muscles contract and relax properly. And the antioxidants? They're fighting inflammation throughout your urinary tract, which is often one of the hidden causes of bladder problems. But there's more to it than just the seeds themselves. Pumpkin seeds have anti-inflammatory properties that help prevent urinary tract infections. They regulate hormone levels, which is particularly important because hormone changes as we age can really affect bladder health. And they provide healthy fats that promote tissue regeneration in the urinary tract. It's like giving your whole system a proper tune-up, mate. Now, I mentioned earlier that one of my patients has been doing this for years with brilliant results. Let me tell you a bit more about that. This woman came to me about 6 years ago, absolutely beside herself with worry. She couldn't go anywhere without planning her entire day around where the nearest toilets were. She'd stopped going to her bridge club, stopped visiting her grandkids, basically became a prisoner in her own home. We tried the conventional treatments, and they helped a bit, but nothing really solved the problem. Then I suggested she try this pumpkin seed remedy alongside some lifestyle changes. Within 2 weeks, she noticed a difference. After a month, she was back at her bridge club. Now, 6 years later, she swears by it. She tells everyone she meets about it, and I've had at least a dozen of her friends come in asking about the same treatment. But here's the thing, folks. This remedy works best when you're not sabotaging yourself with common mistakes that make incontinence worse. So let me walk you through the 5 biggest errors I see people making, and more importantly, how to fix them. First up, drinking fluids at the wrong time. A lot of people reckon that if they drink less water, they'll need to pee less. Fair dinkum, that's one of the worst things you can do. When you restrict your water intake, your urine becomes too concentrated. It gets more acidic, which irritates your bladder, and that actually increases the urgency and your risk of infections. What you should be doing is drinking small amounts of water throughout the day to keep your bladder healthy. Just avoid drinking large amounts right before bed so you're not up all night. Make water your go-to drink, and stay away from fizzy drinks and those commercial fruit juices loaded with sugar. Second mistake, eating foods that irritate your bladder. Certain foods and drinks can inflame your bladder and make incontinence worse. I'm talking about black coffee, tea, alcohol, spicy foods, citrus fruits, and artificial sweeteners. Now, I'm not saying you can never have a flat white again, but you need to be smart about it. Instead, focus on anti-inflammatory and soothing foods like bananas, oats, sweet potatoes, and leafy greens. Swap your morning coffee for herbal tea. Chamomile or fennel work really well for calming the bladder. Third, and this is a big one, neglecting to strengthen your pelvic floor. A weak pelvic floor is one of the main causes of incontinence, especially for women after childbirth or during menopause, but blokes aren't immune either, particularly after prostate issues. If you're not regularly training these muscles, they lose their ability to maintain good bladder control. The solution? Daily Kegel exercises. Here's how you do them. Imagine you're stopping yourself midstream when you're having a pee. Contract those pelvic muscles for about 5 seconds, then relax for another 5. Try to do 10 to 15 repetitions, 3 times a day. Over time, you'll notice you have better control and less leakage. Fourth mistake, holding on too long when you need to go. Ignoring your body's signals can overload your bladder and weaken its muscle walls, which makes you more susceptible to infections. Plan to visit the dunny every 2 to 3 hours, even if the urge isn't strong. This gives your bladder healthier habits and prevents those sudden, desperate urges. And the fifth mistake, not managing your weight. Extra weight puts additional pressure on your abdomen and pelvic area, making incontinence worse. I'm not saying you need to become a gym junkie, but maintaining a healthy weight through balanced eating and regular exercise makes a real difference. Activities like walking or Pilates gently strengthen your muscles without putting excessive pressure on your joints. Now, let me share something else with you. A few months back, I had a bloke come into my practice, about 68 years old. He'd been dealing with stress incontinence for 3 years. Every time he coughed, laughed, or bent down to pick something up, he'd leak. He was wearing pads every day and felt absolutely humiliated. His wife had convinced him to see me, but he was skeptical about any natural remedies. I put him on the pumpkin seed drink, got him doing Kegel exercises, and we made some dietary changes, cutting out the coffee and beer, at least reducing them significantly. Within a month, he was noticing improvement. After 3 months, he didn't need the pads anymore, except as a precaution. Now, 8 months later, he's back playing lawn bowls with his mates and hasn't had an incident in months. He reckons it's given him his confidence back, and his quality of life has improved dramatically. But I want to be straight with you. This isn't a magic bullet that works overnight for everyone. Some people see results in 2 weeks, others might take a month or even longer. And if you've got severe incontinence or underlying medical conditions, you absolutely need to see a doctor as well. This remedy works brilliantly for mild to moderate incontinence, and it can support conventional treatments for more serious cases, but it's not a replacement for proper medical care when you need it. Here's what I recommend to get the best results. First, combine this daily drink with those Kegel exercises to strengthen your pelvic floor. Second, while you're using this remedy, avoid bladder irritants like coffee, alcohol, and spicy foods. Third, keep a consistent sleep routine. Good rest helps reduce nighttime urinary urges. And fourth, keep track of your progress. Write down how often you're going to the toilet, any incidents you have, and how you're feeling overall. This helps you see the improvement over time and gives you information to share with your doctor if needed. I also want to address something I've heard from some of my patients. A few folks have said, "But doc, I already eat pumpkin seeds. I have them on my salad, I snack on them, and I'm still having problems." And that's a fair point. The difference is in the preparation and consistency. When you blend the seeds with warm water first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, you're optimizing absorption. And you're doing it consistently, every single day, not just whenever you remember or feel like it. That consistency is key. Look, after 35 years in this field, I've seen pretty much everything when it comes to bladder problems. I've done countless surgeries, prescribed every medication under the sun, and tried every treatment protocol you can imagine. And you know what? Sometimes the simplest solutions are the most effective. This pumpkin seed remedy isn't some newfangled discovery. It's been used in various cultures for generations, passed down because it actually works. The beauty of it is that it's natural, it's affordable, and it's something you can do right now, today, without waiting for appointments or prescriptions. You can grab pumpkin seeds from any supermarket, Woolies, Kohl's, wherever you shop. They're not expensive, and making the drink takes all of 2 minutes in the morning. Now, I want to leave you with this. If you've been struggling with incontinence, whether it's been a few months or many years, you don't have to just accept it as part of getting older. You don't have to plan your entire life around where the nearest toilet is. You don't have to miss out on activities you love because you're worried about accidents. There are solutions, and this is one that's helped thousands of people right here in Australia and around the world. Give this remedy a genuine go for at least 2 weeks. Stick with it. Combine it with those lifestyle changes we talked about, and pay attention to how your body responds. I reckon you'll be pretty surprised at the difference it makes. And if you find this helpful, share it with someone else who might benefit. We've got a big community of people dealing with this issue, and the more we share what works, the more people we can help. Remember, you've taken the first step today just by watching this and learning about a solution. That's something to feel good about. True freedom starts with that first step, and you've already taken it. So here's to your health, to getting your confidence back, and to living life on your own terms, not your bladder's terms. Give it a go, and I reckon you'll be stoked with the results. Cheers, folks.